Hello, everyone. I welcome you for joining our loving kindness meditation this evening. Now, I sincerely hope that the weekly loving kindness meditation that is held on every Wednesday night brings changes to your life. That is bringing you more happiness, peace, relaxation, and comfort. Last week, I mentioned that according to the Buddha, anger is temporary insanity. So when we get angry, we're acting like an insane person. We do and say things that cause harm physically and verbally. Sometimes when we get an insight into what the problem is uh, and why a person is acting with anger, then it is easier to forgive him. For instance, like the case of the hot-tempered monk who suffered from severe migraine in Thailand that I mentioned last week. Metta enables us to understand that we are not perfect. Sometimes we suffer from anger, or if you will, temporary insanity from time to time. Some experiences are like getting bruises and bumps on our head. So unfortunately, we vent out our anger to other people, especially those we love. How about someone venting out anger at you? Now, going back to the book, Opening Up to Kindfulness by Ajahn Brahm, he says that when a person close to you, someone that you love gets angry with you, never think that it is your fault. It has nothing to do with you, but it's everything to do with them. They are scolding you not because you have done something wrong, but because they're not feeling well or they're hurt and they're taking it out on the ones they love. It is a way of releasing pent-up tension. Deep down, they think that their partner will understand them. Ajahn Brahm says that if someone shouts at you, don't get upset. Just give the person a big hug and say, never mind. Don't take it personally. And that's how we forgive the past. Some people say that some things seem to be very hard to forgive. Maybe these things are just too cruel or hurtful and uncalled for, right? So because of that, they harbor this feeling of anger, not able to forgive the things that were said or done to them. But one of the most powerful statements of the Buddha was that there is nothing that you cannot forgive. There is nothing that you can't learn from. There is nothing that you can't grow from. Ajahn Brahm told a story about how a woman came up to him at a counseling session and told him that she has a problem. And the problem was that she had been raped before. Now, for the first few minutes, Ajahn listened to everything she said without making any judgment. But looking at how she had bounced back, he said that many people would be emotionally crippled by the experience. But for you, I think you can understand this. You can learn from this and transcend it. So your task in the future will be to help other women who had been through that experience in a way which, as a man, I will never be able to do. You have been there. And I think that you're able to get through this without emotional scars, but with an emotional richness, which you will be able to share with other women. Because you have been through it and you know the way out of the black hole of former pain. You can hold another girl's hand and say, I know. And you mean it. And you also know the way out. So that is the task of you in life. And you are lucky. It has been a terrible experience, but when you went through it, you are now able to help other beings. Even with such a terrible experience like that, you can make use of it for compassion, for wisdom, for serving, and for growth. So this is what is meant by metta. The door of my heart is open to the past, no matter what happened, even the very worst things. We embrace it. We know from our own experience that only when we forgive that we can be free. Ajahn Brahm says that only when you embrace the past that the process of healing begins. Only when you're truthful rather than hiding things away can there be a sense of integration, growth, and freedom. So metta does lead to freedom. It doesn't obliterate the past or neglect it. It makes use of the past to grow. And in that growth arises freedom and compassion. I think Achan has also used the analogy of dung, which is being used as fertilizer for us to grow beautiful mangoes. Yeah? So some of this negative experience that we have when we apply metta, loving kindness, when we open the door of our heart to it, it leads to freedom. And with that kind of experience, with the past, it is possible for us to experience growth. And from growth arises freedom and compassion. There is a powerful story of forgiveness and reconciliation from South Africa. Now, as you know, South Africa at one time was following the apartheid policy. And this policy was a system of institutionalized racial discrimination. And this policy was adopted from 1948 and lasted up to the 1990s. Under the apartheid policy, white South African minority dominated politically, socially, and economically. So they are actually in power. It's the minority that is in power. And under the system, the white citizens had the highest status, followed by Indians and colored people, and finally the Black Africans. So many Black Africans, including Nelson Mandela, were imprisoned and tortured because of their resistance to end segregation and apartheid. After external condemnation in the United Nations and internal resistance to apartheid, the national ruling government decided to have crackdowns that left thousands dead or under detention. But eventually, the National Party entered into negotiations with the African National Congress, and that finally led to the repeal of the apartheid legislation. And this happened in June 1991. Now, at the African National Congress, testimonies were given. And one of the testimonies was given by a white South African security man. He was in charge of security. And before the crowd, he confessed that he had tortured many African activists to death. Now, seated in the Congress was the widow of one of the activists who died under detention. So the torturer told the Congress what happened, and in front of the widow. So it had been an emotional sharing. The white security man's eyes was brimming with guilt as did he describe how he tortured the activist to death in front of his widow. And the widow cried to hear what her husband went through that eventually led to his death. Just as people thought that the widow would scream at the torturer for his cruel deeds, the amazing thing was that the widow got up, approached the torturer and killer of her husband, and said, "I forgive you." So it has been a most moving time to witness the reconciliation where a woman whose own husband has been killed could forgive the man who killed him. And both cried, both the torturer and the widow. Only then, because of that forgiveness, was there healing and was there growth. So that is what metta is about. It could move to such incredible depth and power. And metta goes beyond reason It comes from the heart and heals. If you can do that to the past and to the enemies who have hurt you, why can't you do that to yourself? Because sometimes you cannot forgive yourself for the things that you have done. In the modern world, people are consumed by guilt and they can't let go of the past mistakes that they have made. After committing the mistake, they want to be punished. Ajahn Brahm told a story about one young man who went to the Bodhinyana monastery in Perth. He wanted to undergo training as a monk, so he's a young man. So, as a person under training, taking the precepts, he's not supposed to eat after lunch. So one day he got really hungry and he sneaked into the kitchen and made himself a nice sandwich. Now, that is breaking one of the 8 precepts, which he has to keep if he's training to be a monk. Well, he's supposed to fast after lunch until the next morning. But after doing this, after breaking his precept, he felt so bad and guilty. So he came up to Ajahn Brahm and confessed to him. So Ajahn told him, in order to advise him, he says, never mind, just learn next time not to do it again. Everyone makes mistakes. Now, I'm not going to throw you out of the monastery just because of this. So just never do it again. And thanks for telling me. But the young man was not happy. He says, look, that's not good enough. I need penance. I need to be punished to stop me doing it again. When looking at him, Ajahn realized that plain forgiveness is not good enough. So Ajahn has something to say. He says, well then, we'll give you 50 strokes of the cat. And upon hearing this, the trainee monk turned white when he hears of this punishment. Now, to understand the young man's reaction, we need to understand the context where Australia started off as a penal colony, where the British used to send their criminals to Australia and they were treated very harshly. So one of the punishments was whipping with a cat of 9 tails. So what is a cat of 9 tails? It is actually a whip of braided ham, and which breaks up into different tails, multiple tails. And when this whip is being used, the multi-tails of the whip will cut into the flesh and result in the bleeding. So in short, they call it the cat. So when Ajahn says, okay, we need to give you 50 strokes of the cat, the young man turned what? What? Ajahn is going to whip me for eating in the afternoon? But Ajahn explained to him what 50 strokes of the cat really means in Buddhism. He says that in the monastery, there is a cat. So this young man had to look out for the cat and stroke the cat 50 times. So maybe the stroking of the cat 50 times will teach him kindness, forgiveness, and how to be soft and sensitive. Huh? So Ajahn asks, why do we punish ourselves? Does it really help at all? Punishing ourselves is a way many people deal with guilt. But that is yet another way. So instead of punishing ourselves, we use metta and say, the door of my heart is open to me no matter what I have done. So sometimes we have made a mistake. Now that's all. We are all allowed to make mistakes. When we punish ourselves, what we are doing is denying ourselves happiness. We don't think that we deserve to be happy. And people experience this with dysfunctional relationships. And sometimes when people get married, they don't have a good relationship with their partner because deep down they feel that I don't deserve this happiness, and therefore they seek punishment, and therefore their relationship with their partners never turn out to be right. It's always very abusive, always anger, venting out anger at one another. And sometimes with this kind of punishing yourself, people bring sickness and diseases because they don't think that they really deserve to be healthy. There's a feeling of guilt. Deep inside, they feel that they don't deserve to be healthy. And so many of the illnesses that people have are guilt related, something that they have done in the past and which they have pushed deep down in their mind so that they don't see it. But this has caused them not to be happy. So from the stress comes disease. Yeah. When you say to yourself that you're really a human being who makes mistakes, and the door of your heart is open to you, no matter what you have done in the past, then something changes in your mind, even in your body. You become free. Forgiveness leads to healing. Forgiveness leads to happiness and freedom. If you're going to recall your past, forgive all the rotten things that have happened and have metta towards yourself so that you can get rid of all the guilt and suffering. If you want to look for punishment, then look out for a cat in which you can administer 50 strokes, like what the young man was asked to do. Ajahn has advised, when you remember the past, remember all the wonderful things which have happened to you. If you can do that, you know how to have metta towards the past, and the guilt of anger will disappear, and you will grow wonderfully. You will grow in inspiration, repeating all the successes and all the beautiful things which make you a wonderful human being. All right, so now let us, so that is about forgiving the past. We shall now proceed on to our metta. And the way we perform metta is that we get seated on a chair, or if you sit on the floor. But if you sit on the chair, keep your back straight. And it is okay to rest your back towards the back of your chair, but ensure that your body is straight and your head is nicely balanced above your shoulder. You just be aware of your breathing. We start off with the breathing because our emotions is connected with the breathing. If your breathing is short and jerky, your mind will be agitated. And as you begin to have smoother and deeper breathing, your mind will actually become calm. So feel comfortable. And when you begin to make wishes of loving kindness, in your mind's eye, bring the people to whom you like to send loving kindness, to bring them to your mind. You might even see them in your mental eye, your eye inside. So I'm going to guide you during this meditation. What we will do is, number one, just to watch the breath to come down. And then we practice the inner smile. And we will return back to the breath again in order to refine our mindfulness. And then we begin making wishes of loving kindness, wishes of metta. All right? So that's what we're going to do tonight. And so if you're ready, just please be seated in a comfortable fashion. And you can slowly close your eyes as I ring the bell 3 times. Now slowly be aware of your breath as you breathe in and out. And slow down your breathing. Breathe deep inside your abdomen. Breathe really down abdomen, not just the chest, but bring the breath down to the abdomen, or they say to the diaphragm. And as you begin to breathe deep, you will find that your mind becomes more comfortable. At this moment, you have a sense of contentment because there's nothing that you require right now other than to dedicate yourself to the practice of loving kindness. Calm down yourself, breathe deep, and feel relaxed and calm. And now we will practice the inner smile. You know, a smile is connected with peace, happiness, friendliness, and relaxation. So you bring up your inner smile that we will use to touch different parts of our body, especially the different organs in your body, so that it will enhance your health and well-being. It makes you feel both physically and mentally good. And the smile is healing the part of the organ where you place your attention. If you have an issue with a particular organ, you should not put too much stress on it. Don't put too much energy for it to heal. Just smile and bless the organ with love and kindness. Now we begin by being aware of the crown of your head. Can you feel your crown right now? Let the smiling energy accumulate at your crown. Put a smile at your crown. How is it like when your crown is smiling? Now just be aware of your forehead. Can you feel your forehead? You can feel the sensations? Now just put a smile on your forehead. And now just be aware of the spot between your eyebrows. Let the smile accumulate between your eyebrows. Let the smile go to your eyes. So your eyes are always smiling. Let the smile flow down to your face and down to your neck. Now at the base of your neck is the thyroid gland. Smile at your thyroid gland. And somewhat lower in your chest, between your lungs and just behind the breastbone, is your thymus gland. And this thymus gland makes white blood corpuscles, which is part of your immune system. So this is for you to build up your immune against viruses. And now move lower down to your heart. The heart, the seat of your emotions. Open up your heart and relax the heart. Put a smile in your heart, letting go of the tensions that is stored in your heart. Just open up your heart and relax and smile. And from your heart, let the smile go to your lungs, so that your lungs may breathe in easily. Have gratitude to your heart and lungs for keeping you alive from day to day, from moment to moment. Now a little down will be your solar plexus at your breastbone. This is the energy center where if you have negative emotions like frustration, anger, fear, this is the part that will really contract. And if the solar plexus keep contracting, it's not good for the organs that are connected to this, to the solar plexus. So for your good health and for your happiness, can you put a smile at your solar plexus? Let the solar plexus relax and smile. have a feeling of goodness and happiness. Now let the smile energy flow to the right side of your body, to your liver. And your liver is just below your rib cage on your right side. Well, gratitude to your liver, because that's the organ that clear your body of toxic substances. Soften your liver with a smile and with a wish that may the liver be healthy and strong. Now moving to the back of the body, that's where you find the two kidneys, just between your spinal cord, your kidneys. Direct your smile to your kidneys. That filters out blood and remove waste. And now to the left side of the body, just below the rib cage, that's where you have the spleen. Put a smile to your spleen. The spleen fights germs in the blood. It also helps to control the level of blood cells and filters the blood. That's your spleen. Send love and kindness to your spleen so that your spleen is healthy. And just below the spleen is pancreas. The pancreas helps to digest your food with the enzymes that it secretes, and it transforms sugar from your food into energy. So smile at your pancreas. Thank you, pancreas, for your work to keep me well. May you function smoothly. Now we move to your stomach and your intestines. This is part of your digestive system. And your stomach and intestines absorb nutrition from your body, gives food to your body. And after the small intestines, which runs all over, fills up your stomach area below and below and the lower part of your body. It continues into the large intestines. So smile at the digestive system. And now we send the smiling energy to your urinary tract, to your bladder. And also for the males, smiling energy for the prostate gland. And for the females, the ovaries and uterus, so that you don't have problems with these organs. So now your vital organs in your body are all filled with love and kindness, and you have touched them with smiles, with friendliness, with kindness. Now let us return to the breath and be aware of the breath. As you breathe in and out, you know that you're breathing in and out. Doesn't matter where you experience the breath. Some people experience it at their nostril. Others could be in the mouth or in your throat or in your chest or in the abdomen. Doesn't matter. As long as you're aware of this breath. And just be aware of the breath moving in and out. It is an automatic function of the body, breathing in and out. You don't even have to think about it. It just occurs. So it becomes a very convenient object for us just to anchor our attention. Just observe the breath as you watch it in and out without any stress, with this relaxation and smiles in your heart. It is like you're in a state of relaxation as you sit on the beach, watching the waves come and go. And now let us pay attention to the breath. You know, when you put your attention on one particular object, like your breath, when your mind begins to get a bit more focused, more mindful on your breath, you find that the tension will disappear from your mind and you become more peaceful. So let us now watch the breath. In order to keep track of the breath, it might be useful for us to count. So you could go like breathe in and out as 1, in and out as 2, and we count up to 10. And upon reaching number 10, we return back to number 1 and continue watching the breath. At any time, if your mind has strayed away or you're falling asleep, don't worry. If your mind has strayed away, just the moment when you know it's strayed away, just bring it back to the breath and continue. Or if your mind has dozed off, the moment you know that it's already dozed off, and you come back again to your breath and continue. If you do not know where you are in terms of your count, go back to the base, which is number 1. Okay, so let us now watch the breath. Now let us watch the breath in another way. As you breathe in, you just calm yourself. And as you breathe out, you feel relaxed in your heart and smile in your heart. So breathing in, you calm yourself. Breathing out, you smile in your heart and relax. So do you feel comfortable inside and your mind becoming calmer? So now we will proceed to make wishes of loving kindness. This we do first to ourselves, and after that we make wishes of loving kindness to others. And when you make these wishes, you embrace yourself with love and kindness. You whisper to yourself the wishes and feel the loving wishes within. The first wish is, may my heart be peaceful and free. Keeping a smile in your heart as you make the wish, may my heart be peaceful and free. The next wish is for your mind. You make the wish, may my mind be happy. May my mind be happy. The third wish is a wish for your body. May my body be healthy. May I enjoy good health. May my body be healthy. May I be well and happy. May I be well and happy. May my heart be peaceful and free. May my mind be happy. May my body be healthy. May I be well and happy. So that is making wishes of loving kindness for ourselves. In fact, if you like, you can continue just sending loving kindness to yourself. Now, but after making the wishes to ourselves and transforming ourselves into a vessel of loving kindness, we now send out loving kindness to others. So we make the same wishes to others. We make wishes wishes of metta to the people to whom we have derived a lot of benefit, people who have sacrificed for us, who have taught us, loved us, and without whom we will not be what we are today. We think of our mother, our father. In fact, the words that we learn how to speak, the first words comes from our parents. Even the simple act of buttoning up the buttons and tying the shoelace, or how to hold the chopsticks, or their forks and spoon, and good habits, practicing kindness, forgiveness, consideration. All these good values comes from our parents. And they loved us, they've always think about us, having good thoughts for us, rejoicing in our success. Also suffering when we face problems. So as we think in terms of their kindness, we make a wish that wherever they are, may they be well and happy. In the same manner, you can send loving kindness to your grandparents. If you happen to have grandparents when you grew up, and also to your teachers, and especially the teachers who taught you Dhamma, right? Just think in terms of their kindness, their qualities as you send thoughts of loving kindness. So the way you send loving kindness is that if you're sending loving kindness to your mother, just imagine that your mother is right in front of you. Speak to her from your heart. Make it personal. You say, "Oh mother, may your heart be peaceful. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be well and happy." If you find the words are too many, you could always reduce your wishes. Mother, may you always be happy. May you be well and happy wherever you are. And in the same manner, you send loving kindness to your father, to your grandparents, and to your teachers. And now you send loving kindness to your immediate family members, to your spouse, to your children, and if you have grandchildren, to your grandchildren as well. If you don't have an immediate family, then you can send to your siblings, your brothers and sisters, your nephews and nieces. So you can make use of the wishes. You can use 4 wishes, 3 wishes, 2 wishes, or 1 wish. Really up to you. Most important thing is not so much of the words that you say, but the feeling of love and kindness that comes from your heart. That's the one that really matters. And when that happens, then you begin to send loving kindness. And now we send loving kindness in all the different directions. Just imagine that the beings, all the living beings in this world have assumed a human form and they're in different directions. But tonight we'll just send metta in 6 different directions. So to all the beings in the forward direction, may your heart be peaceful and free. May your mind be happy. May your body be healthy. May you be well and happy. All the beings in the forward direction, we wish you happiness and wellness. And now to the beings on the right side, wishing them happiness and good health. Beings at the back, sending your wishes of love and kindness to all the beings at the back. May you be happy. May you be well. May you have peace. All the beings in the leftward direction, all the beings in the downward direction, and the beings in the upward direction. Sending a love and kindness in every direction throughout the world. Now we return back to the breath, and as you breathe in, you see the word ma. You say ma. We're going to say metta. We say ma as you breathe in, and when you say ma, you have the intention of arousing and strengthening loving kindness. Ma. And as you breathe out, you say ta, and keeping your peace and calmness in your mind. So ma, strengthening and arousing your loving kindness, and ta, keeping the peace and calmness in your mind. Breathing deep as you say ma, arousing loving kindness, strengthening your loving kindness, and ta, keeping peace and calmness in your mind. Later on, as you say ta, you can also extend your love and kindness outwards. You can extend it outwards to other beings as well. So be aware of your breath as we say ma for the in-breath and ta for the out-breath. And now let us also invoke the blessings for the Triple Gem for them to get well. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sadasuti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sadasuti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sangha nubhavena sadasuti bhavantu te. After having accumulated merits, let's now share the merits with the deities, the devas, the protectors. May they continue to guide and protect us and rejoice in these merits. May they also give blessings to the donors, to the supporters and members of BGF, as well as those of other Buddhist organizations worldwide. Eta vatacha ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva sabbe sata sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me Nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo Idang vo nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang no nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Let us make a closing invocation, closing aspiration and closing invocation. First, the aspirations. By the grace of this merits that we have done, may we never follow the way of the foolish. May we be blessed with wise friends and skillful teachers. May we always have the chance to practice and be close to the Dharma wherever we are. And may we one day achieve the highest place of Nirvana. Emina, Ponya Kamena, Mame Bala, Samagamo, Satang, Samagamo Hotu, Yava Nibbana, Patiya. And now, the closing invocation. O Buddha, my spiritual master and refuge, thank you for the blessings, guidance, and protection. The Dhamma, holy saints and spiritual teachers, Bodhisattvas, Dhamma protectors, and Devas, thank you for the blessings, guidance, and protection. May the Buddha be at my head, the Dhamma in my heart, and the Sangha by my side to guide and protect me always.